Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video we're going to be talking about all of the books that I read in October and all of the books that I want to read in November. If you're watching this today when it gets posted, happy Halloween. I'm going to crack open an Alani Witch's Brew for the season ending. I have to work tonight and then I'll probably come home and have a glass of wine and watch Scream 3. Those are my plans for this evening. So cheers to that. And let's get into the books that I read in October. So the reason I'm combining this video with my TBR is because I did not read that much in October. I only read 3 books, but believe it or not, that's like the most I've read in a long time. It's been a while. It's been a slow start to the year, even though it's almost over, but let's just get right into it. So the first book that I read this October was The Ex-Hex by Erin Sterling. This book is literally like Halloween, fall, all within these 300 pages. Like, it's so perfect. I read this at the very beginning of the month and it really set the tone for like all things October. It's about a young gal, a young witch named Vivi. She puts a hex on her ex-boyfriend. 9 years later, he comes back to the town and he's like still cursed, but she didn't think this hex had worked in the first place. So then they have to figure out how to reverse it and save the town. And the town that's in this, I think it's called Grave Hollows or something. Yeah, Graves Glen. It's literally like Halloween Town. It's so perfect. It's so cute. And I rated this book 3.5 stars just because there wasn't like a ton of depth to it, but it was still super cute and it really got me into the mood for the season. And it was just a lot of fun. And I think that's fine for a book to do, and that's all I really expected it to do too. And I was surprised I even liked it that much. Second book that I read this month was One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. I talked about this in my last video, but I do feel like this is like kind of popping off right now a little bit. And kind of getting some traction, but this is like a gothic kind of like dark fantasy. It has like a smidgen of romance in there, but I would say it's mostly fantasy. I feel like this is kind of like a really unique fantasy, like the magic system just itself. This was a really interesting read for me because it was like up and down, up and down. I was like really liking it, and then I found it to be really slow. Really liking it, really slow. So for that reason, I gave it a 3.5 stars as well. I also read this when I was like out of town, like traveling and stuff, so that could have been it too. But it did end on quite a bit of a cliffhanger. So I got the second book and I'm excited to read that soon. This was good. I would recommend it if you like fantasy. And I feel like it's good for the season still, like even in November, for like gothic, kind of like spooky, just like eerie vibes a little bit. It was good. And then the last book that I read this month was Wrong Place, Wrong Time by Gillian McAllister. This is a mystery thriller. I feel like I would probably lean more towards mystery. This is about a mom who sees her son murder someone, and then she keeps going back in time to try to stop the murder and kind of figure out why it happens. And it's a really fun book to read, and kind of like you're reading a puzzle and figuring it out with her. I feel like it's a little bit of a slow start, but I gave this 4 stars. Like I said, it was really fun to go along with the puzzle with her, and it had a lot of turns that I wasn't expecting. I feel like at the core, this book is more of like a mother story, like just about like motherhood and stuff and like parenthood and stuff like that. But it was really, really heartwarming and it was really cute. It made me cry a couple times. Like it was a very good book. And I'm really happy that I picked it up. Yeah, really heartwarming read. Glad that I read it, and I would definitely recommend it. So already, those were all the books that I read in October. So let's move on to the books that I want to read this November. So I have 6 books kind of on my radar. I only have 5 sitting here, but I'll let you know. I'm hoping to read more than I did last month, especially since I'm starting my whole channel. But hopefully we can get to these. Now, I will say, when I said a TBR, I don't know if I'm gonna read these books, like, at all. It's just kind of the vibes that I'm feeling right now. So we'll see if they actually get read. I just think watching TBRs are really fun. Like, I really don't care if you even read them. It's just fun to, like, see books. I don't know. So let's just talk about them. I'm gonna start with this one first because I talked about it in my last video, but I just got You Again by Kate Goldbeck. And it just looks like this cute little romance, and I just can't get over this cover. I mean, I have to read this in November. Duh. I just think this is like a second chance romance, a little emotional, doohickey. I really honestly just want to read it because of the cover. Because I feel like I can't pass this up. And then we got this puppy. Queen of Shadows, Sarah J. Maas, my queen. So I started Throne of Glass probably a couple months ago. I got to Heir of Fire, and then I've had a huge break, and now I'm on this. So I'm kind of struggling with whether I want to, like, I almost want to go back and reread all those books so that I'm like in the zone and in the world. But I also think I might just read like a recap of Air of Fire and of the past 3 books and then go into this, because that's a lot of reading to do. But either way, I do intend to get back into this world. I do wish that I had the new covers. You know, it's whatever. Just really want to get back into this world, especially because I want to read this, and then I want to read Cousin City, and I want to read the new one. Then I've got When in Rome by Sarah Adams. I just feel like since it has a pie on the cover, I have to read it in November for Thanksgiving, right? That's honestly my only reason for wanting to read this in November. It's like a super short 300-page romance, and I feel like it'll be quick and fun, kind of like in between some of these other books that I have in here. I honestly don't even know what it's about, and I don't really need to. This is all I need. So next up, we have To Kill a Kingdom by Alexandra Christo. This is one that I've had on my TBR for I think like over a year, and I still haven't picked it up, which is kind of the case for like the majority of the books on my shelves. So, you know, it's nothing new. But I thought this would be nice to work into my November TBR just because it's a little bit of a shorter standalone romance. It's only like 330 pages, so I thought this might be kind of quick, fun, easy to sprinkle in. It kind of seems like it might be like a Little Mermaid retelling, perhaps. Don't quote me on that. I think it's about this girl who's a siren, and she has to collect our love interest, Prince Heart, something like that. Something along those lines. Last physical book that I have sitting here in front of me that I want to read is The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I've heard this one's kind of like Teenage Criminal Minds, so I'm eager to see, and I feel like this is kind of popular at the moment right now as well. And I love Jennifer Lynn Barnes books simply for the fact that the chapters are like 3 pages long, and so they're really like quick and easy to get through, which is what I need to get me like really back into the reading groove. So excited about this one. This is the very first book. Yeah. Okay, the last book that I'm going to put on my TBR, and one that I am very, very excited about, is going to be Iron Flame. This comes out on November 7th. I literally took the day off so that I could go like have a fun day and go to Barnes & Noble and pick it up. And I also am planning on doing a reading vlog, like full spoilery reading vlog, reading that. So be on the lookout for that. This obviously is just following up with book 1 of the Fourth Wing series. Left off on a huge cliffhanger, so I'm really eager to get back into it and see if it is as good as book 1. We will find out together. Alrighty, so these are all of the books on my November TBR. We'll see if we get to any of them at all. If I do, I do. If I don't, I don't. It's still fun. But I'm very excited about the next month of reading and the next month of videos, so stay tuned, and I will see you in the next one.